What up, guys? It's Dr. Vic, and you are listening to the Mindful Experiment podcast. Excited to have you here on listening, tuning in with us as we dive deep into a concept each week. Once a week, you'll hear me talk about a concept or something that I think is going to give you value. It talks about the whole mindful experiment of life, the mind itself, mindset, and so much more. And in today's episode, this is something that I was actually having a discussion with a client, and I thought it was so powerful that I thought, man, I got to share this with you. And actually, last week I was on a podcast. You'll be hearing more about it coming up, to where I was kind of sharing a little bit about this. And so it's funny how, you share something, all of a sudden a client goes through it. It's just interesting things. I find that always fun and fascinating. But anywho, no further ado. In this episode, I wanted to talk about choosing what you want. I think too many times in life, when we want something, when we want to achieve something, or you got to make a decision on something, a lot of times we get in a survival mode and don't know it. We get in a sacrifice mode or deducting mode, to where we kind of look at things and go, maybe we can't do this. So what if we do this instead of that? Because we can't go for this, but we can do this, or this sounds a little bit more comfortable, right? And I'm not a big fan of those things, because the biggest number reason is anytime you have to make a decision, a choice, or something that you need to do in your life, maybe a business choice, maybe a financial choice, a relationship, when it comes into your health, mental health, those types of things, you're going to kind of deduct away. And what I mean by that is, and I might not be phrasing the right terminology here, but when you're deducting, you're kind of saying, well, this is what I want, but then I have to be real about things, right? Have you ever said that to yourself? I know I've done this so many times, where I put limitations on myself because maybe a financial decision I'm trying to make, or a business decision, or going to buy something. And I'll look at it and be like, wow, that's what I really want. But man, I'm just not there. So I'm going to go with this level instead. And so many times we give up on what we really want without knowing that we can actually go for it. Because there's so many times where, what if you just went for what you want? Man, why the hell can't you just have your cake and eat it too? I mean, who gives you these rules? Your old programming does. Your conditioning, your limited belief systems, right? So we have to understand that you can go out and get your cake and eat it too. There's nothing wrong with that. You can make that happen if you want to. I mean, hell, why the hell are you going to bake a cake and not eat it? If I'm having cake, I'm eating it too. I'm not just going to have it sit in front of me and go, well, I just can't eat it. I can only have it. You got to go ahead and choose what you want and go after it. Make that choice and move forward. Don't create limitations in your life. Now, I'm telling you, don't do that. But you're going to do it anyhow, because I know I've been told these things too, and I still did the opposite. But it's one of those things where, what if you understand that? If you understood this one rule, and if you never read my book, or Rediscover Your Greatness, go get it. I have it on audio. I have it on ebook. I have it on paper copy. Hell, I'll give it to you for free. Just pay the shipping and handling to get it to you. And I'll even autograph it. You can find that on our website. But long story short, the key of what I'm trying to make a point of is this, is that if you understand this principle, that what you put your focus to is what creates your reality, because your focus is what gives life. You want to call it soul energy, life energy, prana, you want to call it chi. I don't care. The name doesn't matter. You're doing it regardless, right? It doesn't matter how you want to label it, how you want to put the nomenclature to it. It's going to be this is a fact. It's a truth. It's just like God. Well, I don't like God. I don't like to say that word. I like Allah. Oh, no, I don't do Allah. I do Jesus. No, I do Yahweh. Who cares? It's the same person. It's the same thing. Not even a person. It's the same energy that you're talking about. It's you at the end of the day. It's a whole nother discussion to talk about. But what I'm trying to get to, the point, is that if you understand that wherever you put your focus to is what creates your reality, you're giving energy, you're giving life energy, you're giving a part of you to it. You do this all the time. Wherever you focus is what you give energy to. Why do you think the media, mainstream media, tries to get into your head so they can control your conversations? Because the more they can control your conversations, what ends up happening is now you start to have conversations with others about that, and you're giving off that energy. And the more you keep giving that energy, and a perpetual system of continually grows, it feeds the narrative to give it life, and that creates a reality. It's what I used to share with my patients back when COVID was starting. I was talking about don't buy into the fear. Don't give into the fear, whatever that means. From a health perspective, not good for you. And I explained that. Then I did on the podcast here, I shared how giving into fear gives the energy to make this worse. And we as humanity can give into the fear, and then we're going to have it's all going to be true of what they're saying, or we can pull away from the fear and educate ourselves a little bit on the immune system and things like that. And all of a sudden, we don't give to the fear, and then we'll drop the severity. And you see, this is and Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton came out talking about the power of fear. I was sharing that with my patients. I shared that with some of my tribe. If you're part of our tribe here at Power Reality and the Mindful Experiment, you will have gotten this information. So it's one of the things, join our tribe and be a part of it. I share a lot of good stuff that I try to give you guys insights to help really empower your life. I do this almost for pro bono on the podcast perspective to really enhance and share information to really give you understanding how to really level up in life and really to learn how to play with this consciousness and energy and this vibrational field that we live in, and so much more. And so when you look at the perspective of focus, if you're buying into like, wow, yeah, this is what I want, but man, don't buy into that. You know, I shared the story on a podcast about buying my pickup truck, right? I got a pickup truck last year, April 2020. I waited 5 years for this thing. Okay, guys, it's not like I could have afforded it back then, 5 years ago. I could have. I totally could have. I had no problem with that. But what I did was I had a rule system. I'm someone who wants to get the best of the best at the best damn price possible. Okay, that is just how I am. When it comes to health, when I'm buying equipment for my health, when it comes to things, I'm very, I don't want to say frugal. My wife may say that, but I don't say frugal. I would just say that I want to get the best of the best at the best quality price possible. Okay. And so when I look at that, I said, well, this is where I want to be for percentage off based on MSRP. This is where I want to have it to where it is the most sickest deal in the possible world. And then these are the things that the truck should have and what the criteria of what I want is. The reason why I got it in April was just because it hit the mark. It hit everything, right? And so it comes to that point where I'm like, man, I got everything I want. I got the truck that I want and all that, right? I had a focus. Some people could have told me, wow, here's a great opportunity. Here's the truck of what you want, but you're gonna have to miss a couple things, right? Wow, okay, maybe the financially this looks good, but it's not everything I wanted in the truck. So, but I'm getting the financial part, so I'm just gonna go with it. No, I wanted my cake, and I wanted the whole damn cake to eat too. And so I had to make sure that everything fit. And I said, I'll wait until whenever it happens. And it came to a point where all of a sudden, with COVID happening, was more of a blessing in disguise, where it opened up the door for that. And I said, I've been waiting for this. Here we go. I didn't even test drive the truck. That's what, and I even got a truck that I didn't want to get. I'm a big F-150 Raptor guy. That's what I was really looking into. And my wife mentioned Dodge. And next thing you know, I went to go look and I saw it just called me out. It had everything that I wanted, the features, everything. I do a lot of woodworking for fun, and it had woodworking features in there. I was just blown away. I was like, wow, universe, you really, again, delayed gratification, right? That's the moral of that story, but it's also about having your focus and attention of what you want to create. Too many times in life, we get focused on the attention of the time frame it should be there. But instead, it should be focused on the micro progress that you do in life. I teach this to patients as much as I can. Being a chiropractor, we go through this as chiropractors all the time, right? Because what happens is you go to a chiropractor and you want to get results. You treat chiropractors like medical doctors, like a medical process, like medicine, right? Oh, I have this issue. I'm going to go see the chiropractor. And then all of a sudden, this is solved. The problem should just be solved. The problem is you're taking a medical approach from a holistic world, and you're trying to enforce a medical approach to that. It just doesn't work. It's trying to get someone who speaks French to understand someone who speaks Arabic. You're never going to connect the dots. They don't understand each other. It's two different worlds, right? And so you have to understand, in the holistic world, we don't focus on something that is going to be to a treatment or solving or fixing. Chiropractors don't do any of that. What we do is we help the function. So I'm not trying to hear a spiel about chiropractic to you guys. I'm just using this as a reference point, because the point I'm trying to make is that even with patients of mine, I try to educate that as long as you have progress, I don't care if it's a minute of a millimeter or it is a whole mile, that is progress. And we have to take that progress little at a time, and that's going to build momentum. Okay. Donald Trump once said this. I know not a lot of people like Donald Trump, but I am not saying I'm a fan of him, but I have read his books before he was president. But one of the things in the United States, but one of the things he talked about was momentum. He talked about how life is all about momentum. And there's so much truth behind that, because in life, any successful person you look at Amazon and the stocks, right? First 8 years, they didn't even make $1 billion in sales. And then all of a sudden, when they broke their first billion, momentum, they finally got it. They went parabolic, right? You look at any company that has blown up, they've had momentum that had to develop. When it comes to your health, there's momentum that you have to build up, right? You've been going momentum a different way. You've had momentum that was creating chronic illnesses and diseases and breaking down the body. And we have to slow that momentum down to shift momentum to the positive. When you're looking at your life, when it comes to financials, you have to build momentum over time, right? In the beginning, you're not going to be making let's say you created a new business. It's not like you're going to be making $1 million in the first month. I'm not saying that never happens. It depends on the business too, but I'm not saying it doesn't ever happen, but the reality, or the commonality, I should say, is that it's mostly you're gonna take little bits at a time. But there's gonna come a point where you get momentum, and then all of a sudden things just start to soar up, right? And that's the key of life with everything, right? So you want to focus on progress. But the key of this whole entire podcast episode is that have your cake and eat it too. Choose what you want and tell the universe, this is what I want. God, Allah, Yahweh, Jesus, Buddha, doesn't matter. Whoever you talk to. If you don't even believe in a higher power, talk to yourself. But the key thing is, who do you believe in that you want to help you co-create in this reality, right? Because the reality is, or the truth is that we are co-creating in this whole entire spool of the universe, of this life, or where you are today. And so when you want something, don't sacrifice what you want. Go out and get it. Because when you stick to what you truly want and you go after it, guess what? You get it. Because then you're telling the universe, I'm not distracted. I'm not keeping my options open. This is what I want, and that's it. And you don't move. That's it. That's the end of it. And when you're that concrete, man, the alignment, the raise of vibration, the universe is going to work with you now. Right? Now it's going to start giving you circumstances and situations to raise your beingness, which is your vibration, your energy field. And what's going to happen is it's going to raise that consciousness to align to the reality of what you want to create. And there's never just a smooth transition to that. We live in space and time. That's the reality of what we're in. And so you have to go through space and time. And there's circumstances and situations that are going to show up, obstacles to test you, to strengthen you, to help you in your beingness, right? I would be so great financially, and I have so far to grow from this guy. So trust me, I'm not saying I'm an expert at any means, because I'm not. But from a financial standpoint of understanding how money works, understanding how to grow money and to utilize money to help me continue compound, to create generational wealth. That's my goal down the road. And how to do that if I didn't go bankrupt. I had to go through that experience to get to where I'm at today. Because that lessons and the experiences and everything I learned back then has taught me all the failures, the limited belief system, the negative belief systems about money that I learned from my family and my friends and so forth, my upbringing, to how I had to transcend all that to learn that, hey, you know what? This is what money really is. This is how life really works. And I created my own rules. And I say this is why my mission in life is to, there's no rules in life except the ones you create. And so the rules, the codes, the standards, the processes that I live by is what sets my life to what I do. And I don't budge. I don't cut them. I don't do anything with that. So like when I say this is what I want, this is what I want. I'm going after it. I'm making it happen. When I wanted to create my chiropractic office, I had a vision. I had a mission to run my own office. I did not want to work for anybody. And I didn't care what sacrifice I had to take. I chose deep down, this is what I want. And I made that happen. And so then I created a podcast, right? Mindful Experiment. Why? Because I wanted to get information out there for people to help them in the mindset level. I've been helping people so much when it comes to their health and retransforming their health. I wanted to be able now to take it to the deeper level where I know that a lot of people's issues starts in the mind. In chiropractic, we see 80% of people's stresses and issues that they deal with is all mental. So I wanted to be able to tap into that world and be able to help and be a voice of reason to help in that process. And then we started Empower Your Reality, right? Another vision, something that I was going to create and something I was going to do no matter what. And we're going to continue. And we started to branch off. And now we have online classes. We do coaching one-on-one. We have the podcast that we do. We have books that we sell. We have a variety of stuff that we give to community, to the public, to help you in your life. And that's kind of you can call this a commercial for what I do, but it's the mission and the passion of what we do to help in that level. So when it comes to your life, right, focus. What does you want to create for yourself and make it happen? Make it happen and have fun with it. Be a kid. Choose what you want. Have fun with it, because make sure it's fun, because if it's not fun, it's not worth it. You can have all the money in the world. That means nothing if you're not enjoying it. It's not purposeful, and you don't have a passion behind it. I can tell you, I know some people where they have all the money in the world, but they're not happy. They don't, because they did it for the money and they didn't do it for something deeper. Because here's the thing. I will tell you, if you want one piece of advice that I've learned over these 37 years I've been on this planet, and this is what I'm going to teach my kids. I'm going to ingrain this in my kids. Do something that makes you happy and you enjoy doing, and get paid for it. That's it. Because what's going to happen is your inspiration is going to, your happiness, your enjoyment to it, the joy of what you do when you're enjoying, what ends up happening is that you will become more inspired to do what you do. I love doing podcasts. I've had people come up to me and say, why don't you do ads? Why don't you get people to get ads? You got a good following. Why don't you have people come and get ad space? I do some if it aligns with what I speak about. If it does not align, I'm not going to do it. Because what I care about most is keeping my message concrete, straightforward, and to the point. And so that's why you guys get 2 episodes a week on the episode. So you get me every Tuesday, roughly, sometimes on a Wednesday. And then you'll have Fridays where we do the interviews. And so we have great interviews coming up. You follow me on Instagram and Facebook, because I'm sharing now stories on those of who we're interviewing coming up on Friday. You can also subscribe to the podcast. So let's say you want to follow. We got it on iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio. We're all over the place. But if you want to get an email directly to you of every new podcast episode that's released, go to empoweryourreality.com/blog. Okay. That's where my whole entire podcasts are, every one that I have, the vlog. So if you're listening to this podcast via iTunes, I've been doing this now for a few months, where we do a vlog instead. So I do a video podcast, and I share it up on there. It gets on iTunes and everywhere, but you can connect there. So you can follow those, follow on there, or you can go on our YouTube channel to see that. But remember, at the end of the day, guys, you can have your cake and eat it too. All you have to do is stay focused on what you really want. And don't get so caught up on the time frame. We get so caught up, right? You hear someone blow. This is me, okay? So I'm sharing some things I used to hear, like, oh, this person made it to that level so quick. Okay, why can't I do that, right? But there's things in life that I've learned that it doesn't matter where people are. Stop comparing to others. Just focus on the little minute progress you're making every day, because that's what matters most, okay? As long as you're making progress forward, because you're doing a lot better. Like, I heard this quote from Tony Robbins. If you make little progress every day, it doesn't even matter if it's the most minute, okay? Little progress every day, you're doing better than others who aren't doing anything, because they're not making any progress. And heck, some of them are going backwards. And so just focus on the progress you make, and that's all that matters. I want to thank you guys. If this is your first time listening, please subscribe, share a review. Let us know what you think. This helps out get the podcast out there to help others to get exposure to what we're doing, what we're up to, and how we're trying to help the world. If you are a subscriber, thank you for your support. Thank you for being a part of the tribe. And I really appreciate you. Until next time, keep rocking and rolling.